Hey everyone, I'm Havvy and welcome to post-match analysis on ARW Now. Oh my word. Can Liverpool fans ever get a break? This was ridiculous from the moment the game started. No matter what hope that we've gathered, thinking Hoffenheim is a decent enough team to raise our game, it didn't really work. Hoffenheim bossed the game. We looked so disjointed from the midfield to the defense. Salah, Mane, and Firmino didn't get any passes together, couldn't find a rhythm. We looked so static. We looked so mundane. We looked so horrible. It took us about 20 minutes to actually get in the game. Hoffenheim were basically passing the ball around the way they liked, how they liked, and just dictated play tenfold. You would think because they're playing three centre backs, the pace of Mane and Salah would enable us to get through, run in behind, Firmino can link, and then we'd be doing okay. But that's not what happened at all. We chased the game for the first 20 minutes. We looked so vulnerable at the back, and our midfield again was non existent. It just pinpoints the fact that Genie, Henderson, and Emre cannot play together, or they're just not finding the right rhythm. It's because no one is sitting at the back. Henderson feels he needs to cater for Moreno's lack of brains. Emre doesn't seem like he's in his own if he's not playing in that six role and he's not taking charge and he doesn't have time in the ball. And Genie just looks a shell of the player he was before. I really don't know what's going on. It just doesn't make sense at all to think that this same team, majority of the same team, less two players, were tearing the league apart last year. Yes, you can absolutely identify the fact that not having Felipe Coutinho and not having Adam Lallana is a terrible miss. Terrible miss because there's no creativity, no drive, and for a team that's characterized by its gang pressing, I hardly saw anyone pressing today. Yes, Bobby can press all he likes, but pressing is not just a one man thing. Like Klopp explained to you before, when Adam presses, Bobby closes in the half space, Mane closes in the other half space, and that's how it works. There was no drive, no effort. It didn't seem like we wanted to do anything. For the first 20 minutes, it felt like we wanted to defend because we thought Hoffenheim was going to come at us. Don't get me wrong, with all due respect to Hoffenheim, if there were any other team in the Champions League, we would have been 10-2 losers today. They won everything in air. They wanted the ball more. Serge Gnabry tore our defense apart. And there was just a lack of communication, lack of formation, lack of discipline. We looked so horrible. Um, well, match highlights. We get concede a penalty. Absolutely dreadful defending by Dan Lovren. I do not know what he was thinking by just lunging in the challenge. He got nutmegged twice in the game, and he gave away fouls. One in the penalty area. Thank our lucky stars, and yes, Klopp said that we do need luck, but thank our lucky stars that we managed to save that penalty. Some mean they didn't even have to move an inch. It was an absolutely horrible penalty. And yeah, then we went. Then, as soon as we come out of the blocks, Salah gets put through by Firmino, doesn't get offside because it's in our own half. And you expect him to blitz down the middle of the park. And he doesn't. He felt stagnated. I don't know if he's tired or he lacked the physicality, but I've noticed this, and please feel free to agree or disagree with me. But even against Watford, Salah did not use the incredible pace that we thought he did. Mane looked faster than Salah today, and he puts it on his right foot, and it was quite a pedestrian effort, quite a, I don't know, lack of gumption. I don't know what you might call it, but he really lacked a right foot, I guess. And you think a player of his caliber and what we've seen before is capable on both feet. But unfortunately, that's not the way it happened, and he just puts it wide. Then we still. I thought we would wake up. I thought Klopp would basically rally his troops up and tell them this is what needs to be done. This is what needs to be done. He constantly, I saw him shouting at Moreno. Moreno made a couple of runs down the left hand side, but my God, is he horrible defending? Moreno should play as a left winger. Honestly, I felt sometimes he had a brain, and then other instances in the game, he just goes back to the same old Alberto Moreno that we know, that looks so vulnerable on the left hand side. Bombs down the left hand side, put a few good crosses in, but because we lacked that clinical strike, and I love Bobby Firmino just as much as the other fan, any other fan, if not more. He just lacks that clinical thinking in terms of being a striker. We saw today when when he dropped into that 10 role, how he managed to bring people into play and the passes he was able to pick. But when you saw when it comes to that clinical finishing, because he had one on one and he missed that. And yes, that was just unlucky and unfortunate, but 9 times out of 10, any other striker, and dare I mention Lukaku, Torres, all the strikers that left us would have put that past. And now I know we can't judge him by one miss kick or one miss opportunity, but those kind of things in crucial games like this need to go through. Yeah, but Alberto Moreno on the left hand side was horrible. Sadio Mane just looked a bit off the pace. Yes, he looked quite dangerous at times, but also I didn't feel he did the right thing. At times where we had space to run in, Mane and Salah down the flanks, they decide to chop back in, and I guess they need to switch sometimes. We so used to seeing this fluidity amongst the front three, but going down the right hand side and going down the left hand side, they have pace, blistering pace, and yet I felt they didn't utilize it to the best of their ability. Hoffenheim continued to come back with us, come back with us, come back with us. Henderson honestly looked like he was more worried about covering his defensive flanks as compared to dictating play. Gini Wijnaldum lost the ball stupidly. He lacked effort, he lacked creativity, he lacked everything that we so used to Gini Wijnaldum having. I don't know whether it's this added responsibility of being more defensive, but Gini Wijnaldum usually shrugs off any single player, picks the pass, has vision. That's why he could play in the 10. Yet I can't see any of the Watford game and this game. I couldn't see anything. Again, throughout the entire game, we looked so vulnerable in the air. And yeah, we missed countless opportunities. Salah missed an opportunity. Mane, Firmino. We could have put those away. And if we continue scoring goals, then I can okay. If we continue scoring goals freely, then the defense would be a little bit more at ease. But at that stage, where we kept on missing opportunities, we were 1-0 up. 1-0 up, so we were so vulnerable. We were so prone to conceding in the end. And today was a perfect example. James Milner, luck was really on our side. Hold on. I forgot to mention Trent Alexander-Arnold's free kick. Dare I say it? But can I recall a certain other Liverpool legend scoring at the age of 18? Well, I'm not going to mention any names, but what a brilliant free kick. Trent Alexander-Arnold, we know he's not shy of taking the ball by the horns and actually not being susceptible to any sort of error or any sort of inhibitions when it comes to the big games. And today was a perfect example. He took the ball by the horns, he took the free kick, kind of luck with the deflection, but it was brilliant. He went inside the bottom corner and the crowd erupted. That should have settled us. That should have said, okay, we got the goal, we got the away goal. Let's put on a professional performance, and this is how we go. Yet, Liverpool never does things by the book, nor the way fans would like it to be done. And again, we go back to our old ways. Going to the break, halftime, 1-0. You think Klopp would rally his troops up again and tell them this is what they need to do. Unfortunately, we came out of the blocks and Hoffenheim came out with like a house on fire. We were pushed on the back foot immediately. Again, there was that gaping hole in the midfield. Left our defense exposed. And on the left-hand side with Lovren and Moreno, Gnabry and Kamaric, oh my god, they just tore us apart on the left-hand side. Well, they're right. And we just looked so horrible. Then we put in substitute, we're looking more comfortable. James Milner comes on for Henderson. Chan moves into that 6th role, looks more comfortable in the ball. We start stringing passes together. We start moving more fluently for the first time in the entire game. We start moving fluently, created more chances. Again, didn't convert. And what do you know? James Milner does what James Milner does best. Chops on his right hand side, puts the cross in, and all of a sudden we see it in the goal. Not that I was complaining. We went mad. It was amazing. It was a stroke of luck, which Liverpool fans and Liverpool are not used to. But that's what we needed. That's what we needed, and that's what we got. Struggled like 2-0. All we had to do was see out the game. Unfortunately, we are Liverpool. There isn't a game where our hearts are not in our mouth, and a lapse of concentration, a lack of communication between Matip and Trent Alexander-Arnold, who had a brilliant game before prior to that, and Uth was in, brilliant strike, 2-1. We knew what was going to happen next. All that they tried to do was put the ball in the box, in the air. They had gigantic centre halves and a gigantic centre forward who's brilliant with his feet, by the way. Winning every single header. We looked so dodgy. We conceded 3 or 4 corners consecutively, which should look so bad. We, like I said, and I've always said, we lack leadership at the back. We don't have a Sammy Hupia. We don't have a Jamie Carragher. We don't have someone at the back that's going to take charge, scream at whoever needs to scream, and our keeper's not the same. No matter how much he tries, no one's going to take Mignolet seriously when he concedes goals by his own mistakes, and he looks dodgy himself. We don't have that leader, and I don't think Jordan Henderson is that either. I like him. I think he has the ability to become a great Liverpool player, but he's just not that leader type, and I don't think we have that. We don't have someone that's going to take their teammate and shove them off and say, listen, you need to wake up, and that's it. And yeah, so 90th minute, I don't think any Liverpool fan thought that we weren't going to concede. It's ridiculous to be in this situation, and we should be more professional. Even last year, I know we had our defensive frailties, but we weren't as vulnerable as we are in these last 2 games. And something needs to give. Klopp needs to really find his key formation, because he's playing his key best players. He's playing his key players. He can't afford to have a high line when people are so strong in the air. We lost the ball continuously. Something needs to give, whether it's new signings, a new formation, new tactics. Get in a defensive coach. I don't know what's going on. The team just looks like they lack drive, and I don't know whether it's the fact that Coutinho is not available and Klopp's mind doesn't seem to be in it, but something's got to give. Anyway, the main thing is that we through to the next round, we have a goal advantage, 2 away goals in the bag. Hopefully the Anfield crowd can spur our team on, depending on the performance on Saturday. But hopefully our Anfield crowd can cheer our team on, give us some sort of 12th man vibe in order to get us over the line next week, and then we in Champions League, we can breathe, we can concentrate on our league campaign, and just chance to win a better just close, because it just seems to be messing everyone around. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed my first post-match analysis on ARW Now. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow us on all our platforms: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much, guys. Always remember, you'll never walk alone. Let's go!